What's up, everyone? It's Joe Fitz. Welcome to my Week 4 NFL gambling video. In Week 3, we didn't do that great. Um, we had Pittsburgh, Cincinnati, and the New England over, which those were our winners. Arizona, KC, and Oakland were our losers. We lost 1 unit. As far as the season is concerned, we're still up 5.5 units in the 2 weeks that I made videos. That's good. Like I said last week, I'm gonna try to shorten these videos up. I know nobody wants to listen to me talk for half an hour about these games. It'd help if I had a co-host, but for now, I'll just rock it solo. We're gonna jump right into week 4 here. The first game we see on the slate is Carolina Houston. Josh Allen last week had a great week. He had a monster week. I think he threw 4 touchdowns. He had a perfect game. I think that deflates this number here, -4. I don't think that's enough points for Carolina. I see 70 or 63% of the bets are on Houston, but 50% that means the sharps are on Carolina, which surprises me. Last week we went against the sharps in some games and it didn't work out for us, but we're gonna do it again here. I like Houston. They're one of my picks of the week. I'm going to take Houston -4. As far as this total concern, it looks a little high to me. Is Carolina going to be able to put up points like they did last week? I doubt it. Not against this front 7. I like Houston. I like the under. Houston is the bet I'll be making on this game. The next game, Cleveland versus Baltimore. See, it opened at 5, and then it moved to 7. That's probably because how bad Cleveland looked last week. They don't look good. I knew this team was overhyped coming into the year. But even with them not looking good, this is still a division game. They always play each other tough, Baltimore and Cleveland. Even when Cleveland is not a good football team, I think 7 points is too much. I'll likely avoid this game. If I had to bet it, I would take Cleveland for sure. But Baltimore looks great. They're sharp. They're going to be a Super Bowl contender. I doubt anyone's beating New England, but Baltimore looks like a Super Bowl contender. But still, 7 points is too much in a division game. I know Baltimore's at home, but let's see if there's any sharp money on this game. I try to leave this up, but surprisingly, the sharps are on Baltimore. This is another game, I guess. I'm going against the sharps. I don't know if I'm going to make a living doing that. But I'll avoid this game, but if I had to bet it, it'd be Cleveland. Sharps on Baltimore. Giants Redskins. The Redskins looked absolutely pathetic on Monday Night Football. They couldn't get anything going. Case Keenum turned the ball over 5 or 6 times. They just did not look good. Meanwhile, the Giants got their first win. This team looked a lot better with Daniel Jones. I see the spread moves after that Monday night game, I'm sure, by 1.5. I don't know if that's enough. If I was going to bet this game, it'd be the Giants at home -3. They got that spark with Daniel Jones. Washington looked terrible. Their front 5 looked terrible on offense. Their offensive line, they do not look good. I'll probably lay a little wager on the Giants here, but this 46 number, it's right where it should be. If I had to bet that, I'd bet the under, but it's just because Washington, who knows what they're going to do. The first couple weeks, they looked okay. Last week, they looked atrocious. Maybe I'll avoid this game. Yeah, I'll avoid this game. The Giants -3. The numbers, both these numbers seem about right, so we'll leave that one alone. There's better value on the slate. The Dolphins versus the Chargers. I'm surprised the public's on Miami on this game. 59%. Well, what surprised me more is the sharps are also on Miami. 75% of the money is on Miami. So that means the sharps, which is probably why you see this spread here move from 16 to 14. They're trying to get some money on the San Diego side. Or, I'm sorry, LA. I always call them San Diego. That's never going to go away. Personally, as you guys know, I'm a Dolphins fan, but I'm going to avoid this game. Miami's 0-3 against the spread. They don't. I don't know how people are still betting them. How do you put your money on the worst football team ever? This is quite possibly the worst football team of all time. 44 points a game they've given up. Uh, I'm not. If I had to bet it, I'd bet San Diego. I might bet San Diego. 14.5 might not be enough. But thing is, if you watch Dolphins football, they're still playing with effort. But all the effort in the world does not matter if you don't have talent. San Diego's the pick here, 14.5. I know sharps are on Miami. I know the public's on Miami, but they gotta do something. They average 5 points a game. They give up 44. The 14.5, that is not enough. That's 2 scores. Chargers would be up by 20 at half. I like the Chargers here. Next game, Oakland at Indy. Indy has looked good, 2-1 straight up. Also 2-1 against the spread, and Oakland got absolutely dismantled last week and the week before. I know people are expecting them to get dismantled here again. 6.5. I see it's 7 here. I still see it at 6.5, but that number's too big. The sharps are on Oakland. That's what I was looking up. The sharps are on Oakland. They're getting about 70% of the money. I like Oakland. A touchdown is too much for Jacoby Brissett to give up. I know the Oakland didn't look great the last 2 weeks, but Minnesota's got an elite defense. Kansas City, they're going to blow the doors off of pretty much anybody any week. So I see Oakland rebounding here. A touchdown, that's too much to lay. I would take Oakland with the points. This is too low, 44. There's no way Giants and Washington should be higher than this game. That number's not right. I like the over. I like Oakland. And I actually like Oakland more than I did before I started this video. I probably would have put them in one of my locks of the week, but we're gonna roll with Oakland here. Next game, KC Detroit. Surprisingly, Detroit's undefeated. And they've played some tough opponents. They beat the Eagles on the road. They beat the Chargers, and they tied with Arizona somehow. Even with that, this is a game I'm going to avoid. KC, like I just said, they can blow the doors off anybody. If I had to bet anybody, it'd be KC, that high-powered offense. Although last week we had that game covered, that KC to Baltimore, that game was covered, and KC let them back in the game. I doubt we see that here. KC probably runs away with this. If I was gonna bet it'd be KC. I see this line at 7 right here, but I'm looking at it. It's 7.5 right now. That moves from 1 score to 2 scores. I don't like that. I'll avoid it. Like I said, if I had to bet it, it'd be KC. You never bet an under in a KC game, so for the most part, we'll leave this game alone. I'm just looking where the sharp action is. The sharps are surprisingly on Detroit. KC's got about 73% of the money. That tells me the sharps are going this way. They probably got it at 7 before it moved to 7.5. But so if they like it at 7, if you can get it at 7.5, I guess go Detroit at home. But I would just avoid it. This game, everybody loves New England. Public's on New England. Sharps on New England. Actually, the sharps aren't on either side here because New England has about 77% of the money, which tells me the sharps haven't put their bets in yet. They might be waiting for this line to move, but it says 7 here. Another one I see it at 7.5. So I'm gonna hammer New England. Buffalo, I know that they're 3-0. I know, but it's New England. It's New England. They're gonna come in here. It's division rival. I'm sure they want to blow the doors off of them. 44. That's it. Is Buffalo going to get on board? New England's defense is look at 5 points per game. New England's defense, they have the best defense in the league. They still have Tom Brady. -7. I would give 9. I would give 9 in this game, and it'd still feel pretty confident with New England. Although I guess it's a trap game. But where I'm taking New England, there's not much to talk about. I'm moving on. Tennessee, Atlanta. 53% of the bets and 53% of the money on Tennessee. So the sharps aren't really picking a side here. I see the spread move to a point rather. If I was to pick a side, it'd be Atlanta, just because they're at home. They can score points. Tennessee, they look sluggish from time to time. 1-2 straight up. Their pass game, sometimes they just can't get it going. Look at there's a 100-yard difference here in passing and 50 in rushing. So they're gonna try to run the ball, but Atlanta's gonna get ahead, and Tennessee, you can't run it when you're behind. 46, that's too high, I think. I like the under, and I like Atlanta. Cincinnati at Pittsburgh. Oh, that's our Monday night game. I don't know why they always put this Monday night game right here in the middle. But we'll talk about it. Cincinnati at Pitt. 56% of the bets on Cincinnati. And we got 59% of the money on Pittsburgh. That tells you that the sharps are all over Pitt here at -3. I know they've looked terrible, but so has Cincy. We said that the Steelers were going to get on the road against the 49ers. They didn't, but they covered. And at home against Cincinnati, division rival, I like Pittsburgh. I'll take Pittsburgh -3. I'm with the sharps on this one. That's the smart money here. Next game, Tampa at the Rams. The Rams played Cleveland last week. Cleveland does not look good, and the Rams beat them by a touchdown. I know Tampa Bay is not great. They just got beat by the Giants, but they can score. They keep games tight. Although they did in the first week, 49ers blew the doors off them. But getting 9 points, I love Tampa here. It's going to be one of my bets of the week. I just think that's too much. We seen what Mike Evans did last week. The Rams haven't looked like the Rams, like they did last year since the Super Bowl. 52% of the bets are on Tampa. Also, 78% of the money. It tells me the sharps are also all over this. I didn't look at the sharp action before I made the video, so I like Tampa. Sharps like action, or like Tampa. We're on the same action here. Tampa's the pick. Seattle at Arizona. I've been riding Arizona. They're 2-1 against the spread, but last week was ugly. They got their doors smoked off. Carolina beat them 38-20. I still believe in this offense that they're going to put up points, but if I was going to bet this game here, it'd be Seattle, even though Seattle just got beat. You know what? I'll take Arizona. Let's keep riding the Arizona train. Seattle just got beat by Teddy Bridgewater and the Seahawks, and they didn't get beat. They got dismantled. They did not look good. Chris Carson put the ball on the ground 2 or 3 times. I'll likely avoid this game, but if I'm gonna bet it, it's gonna be because it's on the 4 o'clock. I'm gonna bet it. It's gonna be Arizona. There's not many 4 o'clock games, so I get my action where I can. I'm gonna get the Arizona 5.5. I'm still seeing it at 5, but maybe it'll move for me. Minnesota, Chicago. Last week, Chicago dismantled the Redskins on Monday Night Football, but the Redskins are terrible. I try to get this thing. I forget to close it sometimes. Minnesota killed Oakland. Chicago -2. I don't understand this line, really. I think Minnesota's the pick all the way. I know it's a division game. Bears are at home. They're a different team at home, but I think Minnesota's the better team. There is no sharp side in this. 60% of the bets are on Minnesota. 63% of the money, so there's no sharp side. But I'll be your sharp here. We're gonna go Minnesota. I see this number at 1.5. It don't matter. If it's a pick game, I'm still gonna take Minnesota. Denver versus Jacksonville. Denver is giving Jacksonville 3 points. That's kind of surprising to me, considering Denver's 0-3. Because it's a 3-point spread and Denver's at home, that tells me that the bookkeepers thinks this is an evenly matched matchup. I disagree. Minshew looks better than Flacco. I just think this Jacksonville team is better all around, and they're getting 3 points. If I'm gonna bet this game, I'd like to get my money on the money line. I would like to get that. I don't know what it pays. I don't know what the odds are on it, but I would take that Jacksonville money line. 50% of the bets are on Jacksonville. 58% of the money. That tells me sharps agree with me. They're also on Jacksonville. Dallas, New Orleans. This is an interesting matchup because we haven't seen much from Teddy Bridgewater. I know he's been in the league for a long time, but he's been hurt. He's been a backup quarterback. We thought the team was going to look different without Breeze. It did. They ran the ball more. I like Dallas. I like the Dallas side, but I don't feel safe. Come Sunday night, I could switch my pick easily on this. If I was forced to bet it right now, it would be Dallas. But 59% of the money is on Dallas, 62% of the bets. That tells me there's not a sharp side. Not yet. I would keep my eye on that. See where the money ends up. See where the money ends up. If I had to bet it right now, like I said, it'd be Dallas. They've looked great. They've looked excellent. I don't know where I got. All right. They rearranged all these games here. The Dallas game. Oh, there it is. They've looked excellent. Yeah. So those are the games for the week. I don't know how this got all rearranged, but as far as my picks for the week, we'll run it up by units. I'm going to get Minnesota plus 1.5. And we're going to do a unit and a half on that one. I like it. Like I said, they smoked Oakland. I think they're the better team, and they're getting a point. So, if I would do I could do a Jacksonville, Minnesota money line parlay. That'd be a nice little payout. Speaking of Jacksonville, my next pick is Jacksonville plus 3 for 2 units. And then after that, we have Houston minus 4 for 2.5 units. And then Tampa Bay plus 9 for 3 units. And then my pick of the week. We know it. I know it feels like a trap, but we got to do it. You got to lay the money on New England. New England minus 7.5. Like I said, if it gets up to 9, whatever, I will still bet it. I love New England. Well, those are my picks for the week. Like I said, I'm trying to shorten these videos up for you guys. I know no one wants to watch a half an hour of me babbling. Good luck this week.